Good morning, Celina. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing okay. I'm
Good.
doing okay.
Good.
I'm glad we have this time together, and I'm looking forward to listening to what you're going to be telling us about this morning. Celina Gleason is a lover of people. She's a local real estate broker. She's also a pastor's wife. Her husband's a pastor of the Ark Pentecostal Church here in Manning. She is a mom and she is a nanny. So she has a lot of different hats that she wears. Yeah. And she's going to share with us some of her, what she would like to share of her backstory, some of the struggles she's overcome, and her takeaway for women, especially the ones of us that are a little more seasoned and mature. We'll put it that way today. Because Celina has not reached 50 yet, so she's not part of the 50 plus crew as of yet, but she will be soon.
Very soon.
So she's going to be sharing with us today, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
All right. Well, this is a unique experience of me in this, because I feel like I'm just an ordinary person, but I serve an extraordinary God, and I do love people. That is probably the first thing that I tell folks when they ask me for a bio or whatever. I love to laugh. I love to laugh at myself because I give myself so much material to laugh about. And I've found that laughing at myself over the years has probably been one of the healthiest things that I have ever done. But again, I'm very thankful to be here today with you. And I believe in what you're doing, empowering women who have not been empowered, who don't know the power that they have deep inside. Again, I have not practiced any of this. It's all coming from the heart. So I really don't know quite what you were looking for. I kind of do, but
it's really whatever you want to share, because it's coming from your heart.
Yeah.
And nobody has practiced for these. These are just
good
off the cuff and whatever they want to say or present or talk about.
Well, my story, I was born in Anderson, South Carolina, to a family, a very large family. I have 6 other siblings. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and it was a tough life, good life, but tough life, because there's always something good in every bad situation. I was, again, I have to be very careful, because if this is going out on social media, I don't want to anger or hurt anyone in my family. But I did have a dad who had been abused and was abusive. He had, I believe he struggled with issues. So the abuse was pretty tough. Won't get into all of that, but because I don't feel like it's who I am, it's just part of my story. And it was, it caused me to go inward and to not feel that I had an opinion. It caused me to not feel that I had a say in any part of my life. But, we pushed through that. I got married young. I was a baby. I was 18. But, it's been 30 years, and
Wow.
I'm as crazy about him, probably crazier about him than I was the day we met. I tell people all the time that we've been together 30 years and we're still trying to make it work. But we love it. I love being a wife.
And you're doing it.
Yeah. And that takes work. It really does take work. So many people go into marriages, job situations, and they feel like that theirs is the only opinion in the room, and it's the only desire in the room, that it's all about me. And I guess if there's anything that my childhood taught me, was that was not the case. And it really served me well. My husband tells me all the time, I'm so sorry you went through this or that, or I'm so sorry you experienced such hardness so young. And I tell him, don't feel sorry for me. I am so thankful for that training period of my life. It taught me so much, and it taught me what to look for in other people. It's almost as though, and I did not expect to get emotional in this today.
Oh, it's okay.
It's almost as though you can see them coming a mile away. Somebody who's been through that, somebody who's in it right at the moment, you can see them coming. You see the look on their face. The Bible talks about someone with a familiar spirit. And sometimes I think, I know that probably meant sorcery or something like that, witchcraft. But what I see it as is it encompassed so much that it could have been someone with a familiar circumstance as yours. You can see them, that they're coming, what they're going through at the moment, the blank stare, the desperation in their eyes. But anyway, it taught me a lot. It really did. And, there's still times when I'm dealing with a situation at church, maybe with a family or an individual, and I feel so ill prepared. But at the same time, I know that God he put me on this earth, and he knew that he could trust me with whatever came my way. And that's the way I want to be, that if he sends someone who happens to be going through something, that I will see it. It's like going through abuse gives you the ability, it gives you feelers that when you're in a situation, you can feel what's going on. It makes you hypersensitive to the needs of people and to what they're going through. But I don't feel sorry for myself in any way. I'm so thankful that I took that and I got through that. I made it through that. And if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything in life. And I can help other people get through it too.
Yes.
But
I'm thankful you made it through it.
I am very thankful. And I'm thankful that I met my husband, who did nothing but pour into me from day one. He just poured into me. He really was understanding. He listened. He said, well, you'll never have to worry about that ever again. And I haven't. I've never, ever with him. And I know that I'm the exception to that, because most people who have been raised abusive, in an abusive situation, most of them will seek out people who are like their abuser, And I also had to learn, after I came to God, that God is not like my dad was. He's nothing like that. And I didn't even realize I was putting God in that category until I started really looking into psychology, really delving into sociology, reading everything I could get my hands on about people, because I wanted to not be the person that was the victim. I didn't want to be the person who had that crutch all my life. Well, I'm doing this because I was abused when I was raised. I wanted to be the opposite of that. And so I poured into books. My husband was also raised in a very abusive situation. His stepmom shot at him once when he was 13. Thankfully, the gun didn't go off for whatever reason. So, but I came into pastoring thinking, oh my God, I'm not equipped for this. I'm so messed up. What is wrong with you, God? What are you thinking? There's no way I can do this. And there's still times when I think, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm too messed up in the head, but it's not that way. I really feel God, he sends us into situations because he knows that our past can help us get through our present.
There's a statement that I've heard through some of my coaching programs, that your mess becomes part of your message.
Absolutely. Absolutely does. And I wanted to get to the place where it didn't even really factor into what I talk about. One day I pray I do, get beyond it to the point where it is just such a distant memory. And it is. I mean, I've been, out of that situation for 30 years. So, 30 plus years. But, I just, I want other people to know that you can still have joy and you can still have peace in any situation, that no matter how bad, what you've come out of, you can still have that joy and peace. That's something, that is so valuable to me and my husband. We have had peace in our home. It's just been peaceful, and we know a lot of people don't have that. And that we also know that there are people who would, they're not peaceful, and they will do everything they can to bring you down with them and to rob you of your peace.
Yes.
And I see that so much. It is so sad. It is abundantly sad how much of that I see in our world. How that, other people are trying to better themselves. They're trying to, be a good person in life. They're trying to do well and to do good things to those around them, and other people in their family, especially. There's always that one person, sometimes more than one person, who tries to drag you back down. They try to keep you in constant conflict. And if there's any message I would like to give to anyone, you don't have to live. It's not God's will for us to live in constant conflict. We have to have harmony and peace with our God and with our fellow man. And sometimes, even with family, that means loving them from a distance, and so many, I have had so many Christians tell me that is not the right mindset. You have to love them no matter what they say to you or do to you. You have to let them into your world and into your space. And I don't see that as being biblical. We have to love them, and we absolutely have to forgive them in a lot of cases, whether they ask for it or not, because that frees us. That takes us out of it. But there's so much going on with families these days who they feel like they have to keep the abuse coming in their life. They have to keep allowing the person to come in, whether it be a grandparent or, a spouse or a sister or brother or cousin. They feel like they have to let them in, and they have to let them do their damage. And you don't have to do that.
No.
The Bible says you don't have to do that.
Well, even loving them, even if it's from a distance, is still allowing them in your space. You're just not.
You're not setting yourself up for abuse.
Right. You're not allowing them in the right here where they can yell or scream or holler and change your psyche.
Right.
Or your heart.
Yeah. So peace is important. And, sometimes you just have to protect your peace, and I tell people all the time, especially Christians that I talk to that have that mindset of, oh no, that's my family. I have to keep them ever present with me, and, the Lord says, great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. That's in Psalms. And that just means nothing will trip them up. So you have to set things in place to where you don't trip your own self up. Right. And part of that is setting those boundaries, those healthy boundaries of love and respect. But some people just don't have any self-respect. So they put that on everyone else around them. They project that on other people.
Right.
So I would say for women who are going through that, even this season, I mean, this is Christmas. I'd say thankfully, with restrictions this year, it's really giving a lot of peace to a lot of people that they're not having to subject themselves to that. But I would say, don't be afraid to protect your peace. Don't be afraid to set those boundaries, those healthy biblical boundaries that you have in place, that God has put in place, because he knew the hearts of men from the beginning, men and women. I'm not saying just men and women. He knew the
Exactly.
hearts of people from the beginning. So that's important to me, and that's a message that I feel is necessary to give out, especially this time of year.
I also like one thing you said in one of your talks, I believe, that related to how God feels about women, and that God's name for them was, I think it was Hava. Is that what? And I'll let you expound on that a little bit, because I don't know it all. So
Oh goodness. And I don't have any of those notes in front of me at the moment. So
that's
I'm
okay.
having to go back into my memory, which is not good. I have a terrible memory. And I know that God gave it to me for a coping mechanism, to forget stuff, to forget wrongs and forget, but it's kind of spilling over into the stuff I need to remember. And anyway, but yeah, it basically, God valued women. And that's why he chose to come the way he did, through a woman. There in Genesis, there's quite a few scriptures. I think there was one where he talked about the creation of man, but there were 6 where he talked about the creation of woman. And I think that's very telling. A lot of people think that God didn't have any respect for women, in the Old Testament, and that is not true. It's just people of that culture at that time didn't have any respect for women. And, what's he going to do? He has to work through people. So, but he, I believe that his mindset towards women was so precious that he said, you know what, I'm going to come in a way that a man had nothing to do with it at all. And he did. He came through a woman. And that alone should show you the value that God placed on women. And I wish that I had the scriptures that I could give you, but it's just gone from my brain at the moment. But it is very, very interesting how God showed his love for and his value. He truly loves us no matter what. He truly loves us unconditionally. And that is men and women alike. There's so much love that he has for us. And as a woman, it was hard for me to embrace that, as someone who grew up with an abusive childhood and on through, I mean, the abuse lasted on through adulthood, to be honest. It wasn't physical, but it was very much emotional, very much verbal, very much spiritual abuse. So God, he still used that, though. He still allowed me to, and I made so many mistakes in dealing with him, with my dad. But at the same time, I try not to focus on the mistakes except as a learning tool to keep moving forward. But the Lord shows us so much love. It was really hard for me to accept his love because I felt like I had to do something to get it. And I felt like I had to constantly do things to please him. And, of course, we do want to please God, to earn his love.
To earn.
And I did not. And to this day, I still have to stop myself and say, wait a minute, that's not how God feels about me. You know, I don't have to earn that.
Well, I really appreciate your honesty and your openness and your vulnerability. And Celina will also be one of the speakers for our virtual summit coming up January 26th is a projected date right now, which is a Tuesday. It should be one of our speakers. And she's a very, very powerful speaker. I know you'll enjoy hearing her.
Thank you.
And also, like I said, her husband's the pastor of the Ark Pentecostal Church here in Manning, South Carolina. And are y'all meeting in person now, or?
We are.
Okay.
We're doing Sunday morning at 11 and
Okay.
Wednesday night at 7. But yeah, we have our masks and we're distancing out, which has been fine. We have hand sanitizer everywhere we go. And also, we are very careful. We don't do the handshaking or the hugging. I'm a hugger. I am not okay in this environment. So it takes everything I can to not, hey, hug, because, I love people and I love to show them that love. So I try very, very, very hard not to hug, not to shake hands, any of that. And thankfully, we have not had any case of COVID in our church. Thankfully, we know that could change in a moment, and we're not thumbing our nose at COVID or anything like that. We understand it's a very, very real thing. We've had some people go on vacation or go see family and get it, and then stay at home and stay away for 3 or 4 weeks. But thankfully, we've not had any cases from our church. And we've had a couple of events. We've had a one singing in October, went very, very well. No one came away from that with COVID. And we've also had our Christmas get together last night, our fun event of Christmas, and we wore our masks, so everything is well.
I'm thankful. I just wanted people to know that if y'all are meeting in person, that they could look you up here in Manning if they wanted to check you out.
Absolutely, we would love for them to come. We are on 7 Berkeley Street in Manning, and it's just a great group of people. They love God and they love people, and there's just a lot of peace in our church and just joy. That's another thing. I got emotional at the beginning of this. It's not really, what I like to project. I'm more funny, joyful, laugh your way through it. So I look forward to January. I think we're going to have a great time at the summit.
And joy is actually an emotion too. So if you're emotional, you can be emotional with joy or whatever. So that's an emotion. So I am very excited about you being part of the summit. And another local lady, Vicki Brogdon, who's my pastor at Summit Presbyterian Church, she's also going to be actively involved.
That is
great.
And
then we'll go from there as we find some other people to speak. And
it's just the beginning of a lot of great things. And I cannot say enough how much I admire you doing this and putting this together. I know that you're not doing it for any selfish reason at all.
No.
Because empowerment of people is the most unselfish thing anyone can do. It's reaching down and pulling them up beside you, no matter what their mistakes are, no matter how bad they messed up, if it was just an epic failure, or, if they just don't see their value and they don't see their worth. We're surrounded. There's so many people in our area who don't see their worth, and they're doing all these things because they don't see their worth. And if you could ever get them to see that, if you could ever get them to see their value and their worth, then you can help them come out and be better and be stronger and do what God created them to do. That's our goal.
I'm hoping that we can do some more community activities and support services for the people here. And not that there's not everywhere, but it's, Clarendon County is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. Charity starts at home. And I can see
So-
that. I can see it on your face. I can see the
And we can
emotion.
ripple it. See, I'm gonna get emotional. Whew.
I know.
Anyway, I think it's time to stop.
No, it's not.
Oh, Lord.
This is the beginning of great things.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm going to end up in a puddle of tears if I don't stop talking too much. Then I'll end up, I don't cry pretty.
Well, that's okay. None of us cry pretty. I always ugly cry. And it's okay too. That's another thing that I've been, I don't know. People have said, you're too emotional. Look, that's who I am, chick. This is what I am, and this is who I am.
That's right.
And I'm not ashamed of that at all.
No.
So God knows, he sees your heart, Eugenie. He sees that what you want to do for other people. He sees that this is not it's not an accolade that you're seeking out. This is just trying to pour into and be who you are. I mean, you're a nurse. You already have that tendency to heal and to bring hope and to bring healing. And God has used that to move into in such a big arena that you can go beyond healing the body and help heal the minds and the hearts and the emotions of people.
Yes.
So that's my goal in life. I
know that's your goal, which is what I think why we came together.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I've actually enjoyed this.
I have too.
And I will be sharing this with you as well, so that you can share it with whomever you feel compelled to share it with.
Okay.
And you have a beautiful and blessed day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks so much. And Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes. Merry Christmas. And the New Year is going to be outstanding.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
It is.
All right. Have a good one.
Oh, I will. I'm not leaving yet. I'm just stopping the recording.
Oh, okay.
Okay.